Hey guys, it's CL, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I make brand new Critical Role recaps every Saturday at noon, and would be happy to have you join the party. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the Bertrand bell to be notified of future videos. Now, without further ado, let's discuss the second episode of Exandria Unlimited, Calamity. The episode begins where we left off last week, with Sarat, our favorite DILF detective, inspecting the very easily murdered cultist that had been invisibly watching him. Inspecting the wounds, Sarat finds strange sores and growths on the inside of his body, and the Aarakocra goes to find the rest of the brass ring to update them on what's happening after a quick and very cute walkie-talkie convo with his son, Kier. Down in the Meridian Maze, Laren shows Nidus the project she's working on and tests the limits with a small toy. The magical architect hopes to accomplish extraplanar travel with her baby, the astral Layrite, but not just for herself, but for the entire city of Avalier to move in between planes. Her attempt is successful, the small little trinket disappearing somewhere else. Laren clutches the locket of her passed-on partner in crime, former Knight of Avalier, and Xerxes' husband, Evandrin. However, power levels seem to be off, and an object called the Arboreal Calyx, spelling? Pronunciation? No idea, has siphoned off more energy than expected. How frustrating, you mean old piece of junk that no one can pronounce your name. The brass ring gathered to discuss things, much to Loquacious's displeasure at missing the beverage ball. Seriously guys, all of the divorce drama between him and Laren is just magic. Pun intended. Xerxes goes to examine the body that Sarat found, this time discovering the strange growths are in fact infernal glyphs. Signs that whichever deity or whatever did this most likely didn't worry for the health of their followers. This guy is definitely a cleric of a betrayer, and the glyphs read the word Knulf, meaning puppet, and discovered that this agent couldn't have been active longer than 2 weeks, lining up with Vespin Chloris and his weird thing that he did. Was this poor guy in such a bad way that he allowed this to happen to himself? Or was this betrayer god so desperate knowing that no one follows them any longer and just forced themselves upon this person? They are able to tie a lot of things to the upcoming Apogee solstices, Paisha learning the meaning from the matron of ravens herself, before everyone forgot her name. It's crazy how many forces could be working towards the downfall of this world. Yeah, sure. Avalier is working towards extraplanar travel, and that could lead to its own can of worms. But rumors of Eos working towards a nuke and Vespin Chloris's whole shebang, who knows what will take them all down. Paisha, however, is able to track down who brought in the rogue assailant, Dean Lycretia Hollow, who also brought in a vial of poison as a gift for our dear Paisha, apparently out of mercy. Gosh, this event sounds terrifying. After quickly speaking with Madara Glyphs, an underling of Laren, who had been placed under a modify memory spell, they're able to connect that Hollow had planned to kill Pervon, who the woman brought into town herself, as well as the fact that Magister Cormorant had allied with the Force as well. There's a lot of names going on here, guys. Try and stay with me. We split the party. Sarat and Loquacious heading to the Herald's Tome to search for info on Vespin Chloris. Sarat is able to find an interview with Vespin by Ivana Tavares, and in the background of one of said interviews, Sarat can read the lips of Hollow, Chloris, and Loris of the Weaver's Mask. If you don't remember Loris, he's a member of the Ring of Gold. They're having a debate as to how to improve what the Matron of Ravens did, Chloris questioning why they would remove peaceful gods who had been there the whole time, and instead there are others who deserve to be ousted. Loris seems to disagree, mutters something about the Tree of Names, and sends alarm bells ringing throughout Exandria. Sarat learned about the Tree of Names in his training at the Eyes of Avalier, and that the Arboreal Calyx, yes, that came up again, was built around the Tree of Names, and that it was extremely important old magic. Do you remember that reference? Via group chat, they're able to tie the tree that was in Xerxes' dream with the horned god and Evandrin. Maybe the tree made Evandrin sick. Sarah discovers that Ivana Tavares also had a story on the first night of Avalier, Evandrin, and it's missing. When Quay's asked about it, he's clearly hiding something. He had fired the reporter and claimed that maybe she took the file. It seems that maybe everyone has a little wicked in them. Meanwhile, our favorite girl bosses head to the grand halls of the Magisterium, Laren and Patia enchanting a large stone statue to break into the office of the Magister Cormorant. However, he's still inside, invisible, ready for their attack, but literally, Laren fucking murders this bitch in 2 hits. Oh my gosh. It's so weird to be at level 14 coming from the Bell's Hells, oh my goodness. We do discover he's been allowing people in with an altered teleportation circle, meaning that that's probably how the cultists that they found got into the city. The pair also find he was doing research on Laren's project as well, finding a letter written in birch bark, hundreds of years old, trying to figure out what the Tree of Names does, from the head druid of the Gal Grishari, maybe related to the regular Ashari in the future, who refused to answer the original Cinder, worried no one was worthy enough of its secrets. The final pair of Xerxes and Nidus head to the closed Hall of Prophecy and meet with Sophira, who hands them all the cards that they need to get inside with Lou's crushing charisma. I seriously love him being at the table. He's so funny. Sophira reveals that the hall was shut down by Loris, who stepped in after Velusia of the Heart's Emblem, whose position Patia is looking to potentially take over, broke her staff across her knee and denounced magic forever after an argument with the mage, saying, "If these gifts harm us, we should not accept them." The whole issue at the Hall of Prophecy began with a young oracle named Carwyn, who started speaking false prophecies before multiple of those who tried to heal her started going mad as well. Seeming to be a bit better, Xerxes is offered to go check in on her while Nidus checks out a cracked mirror in the restroom where the woman went crazy at. Xerxes finds a spell circle encirculating Carwyn's sleeping visage in her bed, a small hand mirror that I'm really mad we never found out if it's cracked or not, lying beneath her. After casting a clutch detect good and evil spell, the paladin comes face to face with the Lord of the Hells himself, hurt and bleeding in the reflection of the water on the far wall from his battle with the Dawnfather. He takes a deep breath, steps through the portal, and the deity reveals his identity and knows who Xerxes is. The man heals him, much to the shock of everyone at the table, and begins to discuss what had happened in his dreams and what put the Father of Lies in this situation. The fiend recants the tales of the beginning, how they came to the world of the primordials with gifts and miracles. Asmodeus is only Lord of the Hells, not because he wanted to, but he said, "When you're last at the table, you take the scraps that are left." Xerxes begins to study the weird limbo that they're in, as the deity doesn't know how he got there. But strangely, his handsome features resemble Evandrin, but the devil says he doesn't look the same to everyone, as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and he takes the shape of whoever you find most beautiful. So I'm guessing in my world, he would look like Chris Evans or Scarlett Johansson. I can really see how this guy deceives everyone, just saying. The Lord of the Hells guesses they're in some kind of space in between, a place to teach them a lesson, as the door that opened for them wasn't a welcoming one. Recalling back to his vision, Xerxes shares this beautiful speech where he compares the child of Evandrin that wasn't his blood, but was his son, to Admodius not being harsh to the mortals on Exandria, saying that even if we aren't his creation, we're still his. I was honestly really believing what the god was saying, that the betrayers were only siding with the primordials when the prime deities, quote-unquote, were overstepping their boundaries and started to take over. After Xerxes steps back through, Nidus is told the false prophecy that Carwyn initially foretold. She said that Avalier and everyone shall fall, and the gods will banish themselves away from humanity. Sure, I guess it's a little out there, but if multiple oracles are saying it, maybe it's true. The episode ends after Laren gets a call from the houndswoman, saying that they were about to land, but it's cut short by the woman's death, the ring of brass rushing to the helm only to be stopped by Lucretia Hollow. What did you think of the episode? There's so much to unpack here, and I'm honestly surprised they're only doing this in 4 parts. I would watch an entire campaign alone around these 6 and their dynamic. It's truly amazing. What is Loquacious hiding? Was his firing of Ivana Tavares a romance thing? Or was it to do with Evandrin and the story she was reporting on? Maybe she's the reason Quay and Laren are no longer together. I saw some of you commented that I didn't mention it too much, and there's just so much to talk about that, some things get overlooked. It's hard to decide what actually makes it in. What did you think of Xerxes' whole scene and the space between? I find his reactions and compassion to the fiend so interesting. He was even told he was far too trusting and that he's being lied to. Is Loquacious the one who's lying? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I need your theories on this immediately. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe. Check out my recaps of the rest of Campaign 3, and also I have an album called Scorpio out now. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Bidet, my friends.
We don't have to talk about